Hey everyone! So I just came back from Iceland a few days ago. Instead of putting all my stuff away, I decided to film this first so you can see exactly what I brought for my trip. So keep in mind that what you pack for this trip is going to depend on the type of trip that you're taking. So for example, we spent 2 days in Reykjavik and then 7 days driving around the whole island. The whole time we tent camped, so we stayed in official campgrounds and we had a very packed schedule. I can imagine someone having a little bit of a different packing list if, let's say, they were staying in hotels the whole time, or if they were only going to do the south coast of Iceland, or if they were even sleeping in a camper van. So just keep that in mind as I show you what I brought for my trip. So the first category I'll cover is footwear. I brought 2 pairs of footwear to Iceland, the first being some waterproof hiking boots, and the second is rubber flip-flops. So for the most part, this worked out fine. I used the rubber flip-flops for going to the shower in the campsite or going to the spa, and I used my waterproof hiking boots for everything else. One thing I wish I did was bring another pair of shoes. So these runners would have been a lot more comfortable to use in places like the airport or just walking around towns. Okay, the next category is clothing layers. So I'm going to start with a key clothing layer, and that is the rain jacket. Definitely a must in Iceland. The weather is very unpredictable. Other than some really rainy days, you're definitely going to want this as you hike or visit some of the waterfalls in Iceland. Along with a rain jacket is some rain pants. If you are going to a waterfall, you may want to put these on as well. So we went to Iceland early August, and it was definitely cooler than what it would have been in July. So I brought a mid layer. It can be a down or a synthetic jacket. Even if you were going in June or July, I would highly suggest to bring a jacket, something like this, to keep you warm, just because it never really gets like super hot in Iceland. So this is really important to pack. I also brought a vest. For clothes, I brought a really soft t-shirt. This is my 10 tree t-shirt, and just like really soft sweatpants for sleeping, because it does get cold at night in Iceland. And during the day, I just brought, I think I have 4 or 5 shirts here, and finally a sweater. So if I were to repack everything for Iceland, I would definitely pack a few more sweaters or long sleeves rather than t-shirts. Like the most common outfit I wore in Iceland was this sweater and this vest during like the warmer days, and then if it was cooler, then I would be wearing this sweater and my jacket. And then for bottoms, I just brought 2 pairs of pants, one green pair of pants and my black hiking pants. So I would suggest to bring at least 2 pairs of pants that you feel comfortable hiking in. Personally, I do not like hiking or walking in jeans, so I did not bring any jeans at all. So next is the swimsuits. I brought 2 pairs of swimsuits because we ended up going to a few spas like in consecutive days. Okay, other than those items, I obviously brought some socks and underwear. One thing I want to mention is just be aware of how much you're going to be able to do laundry. There are some washing machines and dryers in a few campsites, but like, are you really going to spend hours in a campsite? We didn't, because we would leave first thing in the morning or get to a campsite like really late in the evening. So we didn't really have time to do laundry. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you're not going to have time to do laundry, then just bring enough underwear or socks to last you your whole trip. For clothing accessories, I brought a pair of sunglasses, a hat, just a pair of gloves, and a toque, or I guess we call this a toque in Canada, but I guess a beanie or a whatever else you call this. The next category is sleeping. First, I have the tent. I have a 2-person tent. I would recommend to test out your tent before going on a camping trip in Iceland, just to make sure that it can withstand some strong winds and rain. Next item is a sleeping bag. It's a Thermarest Parsec. I love this sleeping bag because it is a down sleeping bag and it's really warm and it can compress to a really like small size. If you do not have a sleeping bag that is that warm, I would suggest getting one of these like sleeping bag liners. It adds a few degrees of warmth depending on the type of sleeping bag liner that you use. Next, we have the sleeping pad. So I have a Thermarest Neo Air X Therm. The R rating is really high and it is very light, and as you can see, it's pretty small too. Okay, next category is kitchen items. The first thing here is kind of fun. It's a multi-spice container. I got it from Amazon for around 8 Canadian dollars. Then I brought some cutlery, so just like a spoon and fork. I brought a mug, a bowl to eat from, and I also brought a classic cooking pot. So I brought a knife for cutting vegetables. I was able to bring this because I did have a check-in bag. I also brought a cutting board to cut my vegetables from. So this is just like a camping cutting board. It's really small and cute. I brought dish soap and a sponge. However, I did notice that a lot of the eating areas did have this. And finally, the stove. So this is the MSR Dragonfly. I brought this opposed to one of my smaller stoves, which is the MSR Pocket Rocket. This is what the Pocket Rocket looks like. As you can see, it is much smaller than the MSR Dragonfly. However, the reason someone would bring this, despite it being bulkier, is that you can actually control the flame more. So this one you can really just like boil water, but with this one you can simmer some food. So you can probably like make like a fried egg, for example. It also has a larger cooking area, and it is better for higher altitudes and colder climates. In this trip, I thought I would be making more gourmet meals, and that did not happen. I was mostly just boiling water and cooking pasta. So all my friends brought their Pocket Rocket style stoves or like a jet bowl, and it worked perfectly fine. So if you are camping and there are those like indoor eating areas, then this will do the job. Some of the indoor eating areas even have stoves there, like induction stoves that you can use. Obviously you can't bring fuel on the plane, but you can buy these in any camping store in Iceland. Okay, the next category is hygiene. So the first thing is the toothbrush. I also brought a toothpaste. I have body wash, floss, a brush or comb, some facial wash, hand sanitizer, sunscreen, nail clipper, chapstick, and finally a towel. Bringing a towel to the spa is a great idea. Not all the spas had free towels. The next category is electronics. So this is my drone bag / camera bag. It has my Insta360 X3, my drone here, and my drone controller, and then just some extra batteries. In this bag are all my cables. I just have like several USB-C cables here. I also brought a battery pack. So there were always outlets in the campsites. However, most of the time the outlets were taken. So this battery pack did come in handy whenever I wasn't able to charge that night because there were just no outlets left. So also, don't forget your travel adapter. This is the type of plug-in that Iceland outlets use. And lastly, I just have a headlamp. Don't forget your batteries if you do not have a rechargeable headlamp. Okay, so miscellaneous items. The first miscellaneous item I have is just my first aid kit. I have some Tylenol, Polysporin, bandages, just the usual stuff. I also brought paracord. This is great to stretch out and hang your laundry from. I also have a sleeping mask, earplugs. I also have a patch kit for my sleeping pad, and then also duct tape just in case anything else breaks. Don't forget to bring a water bottle. Related to my drone is this launch pad. This is what it looks like, however it folds up. This was so useful in Iceland. I launched and landed my drone on, like, let's say the black sand beach, and this made it possible. This is one of my favorite items. It is a collapsible day bag, so this is how small it looks like. However, you can take it out from its pouch and it becomes like a backpack. So this was great for taking to the shower. You can put it in your like clean clothes, your toiletries, and then you can hang it on the shower door. You can also take it to the spa, or if your normal backpack is too big and you're just going on like a short hike, then this might be a better option. Okay, so finally, I'm gonna talk about a few things that I brought but never used. It doesn't mean that I won't bring it to my next trip, it just depends on the itinerary. So we had a very jam-packed schedule. There was never really time to like read a book or just like chill by your tent. The first thing I brought but did not use is my Helinox lightweight chair. This is awesome. I was so excited to use this. But in the campsites, there were always like free picnic sites that we could cook from. And then I just never had the time to like read a book beside my tent or anything like that. And then I also brought a spatula and this really cute small camping pan. So again, I thought I was gonna make more gourmet meals while in Iceland. That did not happen. I just made like pasta, couscous, stuff like that. I didn't make any like fried eggs or like steaks or anything like that. So again, if you want to be fancy and make fancy food, this might be useful to bring, but not in my trip. So that's everything I packed for Iceland. Thank you so much for watching this video. By the time this video is out, my Iceland travel vlog video will be out as well. If you haven't seen it, I will put the link in the description. I would really appreciate it if you can watch that. In that video, I go over 40 places that we went in Iceland. It's a really fun travel vlog. There's a lot of dancing and just like fun things going on. If you have any questions about what I packed in Iceland, leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next one.